moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion passes. Next item is the consent agenda.
I'm recusing myself from the consent agenda. I'm on it.
Any questions or anything on that? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I move we approve the consent agenda.
Been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion passes. Next is public comment. Is there anybody here that'd like to speak to something that's not on the agenda? Go ahead and step forward, state your name and your address.
Yeah, I was here last month, Deborah Wilbur, 120 Chapel. I'd like to know if 1B Clover is here.
That's me.
That's you? Okay, so you haven't answered my email either. So the only person that's helped me is Russ. So I've been told by the landowner, Jackie Kaufman, regarding 120 Chapel, two different stories. First was the previous owner, Karen Prouty, should have placed this trailer 10 feet back. After I questioned her stating this mobile home sat on this lot 27 years, why are you now telling me it should have moved back 10 feet? She then said there was a zoning guy giving me a hard time, but he had left and the mobile home is where it's supposed to be and I have no worries. I don't believe that's true. I feel the city does not understand the seriousness of my situation. First contact with was Amara, who stated she would contact the city attorney, B. Glover, and return a call to me. She did not. I then called the city twice. The second time was referred to a general voicemail, which is an insult to me. Like, I know nobody's going to answer that. Basically, I have been screwed, and you're letting me know that this is not going to, I'm not going to get any answers from you guys?
That's right. They're not gonna.
You must be a bitchy citizen, okay. A couple weeks went by before I could attend the first meeting to ask for help. The zoning officer, Russ, did come to my mobile home, did follow up with me, did call me, did answer an email. So I don't have a problem with him at all. I need information from this attorney for clarification for this ordinance 1413. From what I understand, he wouldn't even answer his own citizens' emails. Don't know that for sure, but that's what was told to me without saying it. I need from this city to give me a letter stating what has to be done to my lot. Who is responsible for moving the trailer? And also I need to know who the attendees were that came to the meeting when 1413 was told to this meeting. And I also need to know the list of attendees that came there and the mailing addresses. So this is set here for 27 years. I was not told when I purchased it. Absolutely not told by either party. So who is responsible for move the mobile home? Does anybody have an answer? Who is responsible to
During
move?
public comment, we're not allowed to answer your question.
Okay, so when will will it be another month before somebody answers me, or when will you get back to me regarding that?
I'd imagine Blake is probably doing some research and he'll.
Okay, so I need to know
That is
who
a
is
correct
responsible,
statement.
huh?
That's a correct statement.
Who?
I'm doing some research on it.
Okay, who is responsible to move the mobile home? The landowner or the mobile home owner? Why didn't the city put a sign up at the lot stating that these must be moved by March 2022? That would have been simple because 4 people vacated immediately. I'm like, I didn't know why. They said they were going to homes and they were tired of living there. Everybody lied to me. Everybody lied to me regarding it. But I need to know what my responsibilities will be with this, because I can't go forward for my reaction to what's happened to me until I have this city telling me what I'm going to be responsible for. So when can I expect a reply?
I would imagine we'll have it by the next week, Sure.
Okay, so do you need the list of the questions I have?
No, I think I know what you're asking.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Anybody else here for public comment? Sir, state your name and address for the record.
Yes, my name's Daniel Martin. I live in South Baldwin. And I'm here, I sent emails.
We actually need your actual address for the record.
It's South Baldwin. It's getting ready to be annexed. I don't live in the city. I'm at 1621 North 150. I might be forcibly annexed. That was tried once before, but that's not what I'm here about. Yes, I've suffered grievously by forced annexation from this board. But, ma'am, I got the same thing. They don't respond. You call the city attorney, you send emails, you wait 2 weeks, nothing. Mr. Kramer, thank you for responding to me. I mean, at least show basic respect for somebody's attempt to, I thought y'all would be excited about this. SB 40, it was big, it's big. It gave us sovereignty at the school board, the city. It gave us a chance to help people get the mask mandates, keep our small mom and pop shops and restaurants from closing. They're all gone now. You guys had plenty to do. The city attorney, you tell me that SB 40 does not allow the city to revoke a mandate. The Attorney General says the exact opposite. It says right in the legislation, the exact opposite of what you say. You have an opinion, but you don't have any legal argument. I asked for a legal argument, don't have it. So I think there is reason to believe that SB 40, since it's been a factor, there's many things that you could have done. But what I see is you really aren't too concerned with working class citizens of this city, and you might say that you are just trying to get rid of them if you can. Affordable housing, I love that. You're going to get affordable housing. When I hear Baldwin City say affordable housing, my buzzers go off, because all I see Baldwin City do is level affordable housing and put other housing on top of it, which has happened to all our businesses. Right now we have major corporations here. Corey, you get a new bar and restaurant. Now the competition's been wiped out. This looks really ugly. It looks like, and then just to prove my point, Mr. Attorney, that you should respond to people. Just basic respect. You just treat people like trash. This guy, we don't have to respond to him. Screw him. It's just so disrespectful. And just to prove the point, I think it does prove the point that you can override anything the county does. Last time I was here, there was if you drill a water well, I've drilled many water wells, you get a permit from the Douglas County Health Department. We had a permit here, and what did you guys do? You overrode 200 years of water rights law in one fell swoop, and then took everybody's water rights in town away. Boom, like that. Unbelievable. It just, did you talk to the city attorney? Did you see, it's just astounding to me, but that does prove going forward is what I'm concerned about. Going forward, because we are just beginning with this COVID stuff. We're not at the end of anything. I really don't. That's what I believe. I really don't think so. I think there's going to be more mandates. I think there's going to be vaccine passports. And Baldwin City, as far as I can tell, if I could get some contradiction, a legal argument, isn't that what lawyers do, sir? Is make a legal argument? If you just state your opinion here, you say, no, it can't. They can't opt in, they can't opt out. That's not the language, for one thing. You can comply or revoke. And it says clearly in SB 40 that the governing body, think about it logically. We're in District 1 in Douglas County. We elect one man, Patrick Kelly, or woman, Patrick Kelly. That's our commissioner. These other two commissioners we can't even vote for. How can they possibly be making life and death decisions for us on their own? No, that's not fair. That's repression without representation, and it's wrong in every way. That's what SB 40 was designed to do. It's fascinating legislation. It's historic legislation. If you're not familiar with it, you should be. It was bipartisan. Christina Haywood voted for it. Like Senator Tyson voted against it. It was crazy. It got both sides of the aisle. It passed. It was written into law, and it's important legislation. And if you choose to ignore it and let the working class people of this town be destroyed, which they have been, all plays to you, Mayor, right? Another foreclosure, another default on the loan, another trailer pushed out of town. And you guys are talking about affordable housing, seriously, in the country, no less. From some new program, boy, it's shocking to me, it really is. And I thought with SB 40 in place, there's so much we could do for this community. There's so much that we could do to create wealth. That's what we're not doing here. We're just selling ourselves off. Anyway, thanks for listening to me. Going forward, I'm just concerned that like I said, I wrote you, Mayor. You just kind of blow me off. You'll get 2 minutes. Thanks for letting me go on a little bit. But this is the most important thing I've ever seen in my entire life. I'm 66 years old. This is the most important legislation, the most important city council and school board meetings that I ever run into. And it's just like, it's like the sky is falling. Yeah, the sky falls. I don't know what it's going to be. Because I'm very worried. And I think that as a governing body of our town would have all this power by SB 40. Your city attorney says no, but I think what it is you just don't want to do anything. Because this plays to the elite. This crushes the working class. You're not going to do anything with the working class, and eventually all the riffraff, they'll have the trailers pushed out of town. All good. But I tell you what, this political scene is going to change. I mean, we've got to. I'm going to be here in a supervisory capacity with this forced annexation. Or is it not? You're talking to landowners, you're going to do this stuff. Yeah, I've been burned here before. I've had forced vaccination. I've been sued by a city attorney that went into private practice to continue suing me in another lawsuit because I wouldn't do what they wanted to do. So yes, I got baggage here. But thanks for listening to me. I think this is really important. I think what I proposed as far as a vote goes, if you read it, I don't even know if you read the email. I mean, you just it's so insulting. You said, I know this is happening a lot. When people get so many, but I say, why do you get my email? They're like, I got it, but there's so many, and it's like, maybe it's a thing. My kids do that sometime, it's like, what's a big deal? We'll get back to you, I said, well, no, it's etiquette. It's being polite to people and showing them some respect. Say, yeah, we got your stupid email, whatever, but at least, say you received it. Say, say something. It's really insulting. It just is, but, I appreciate your hearing me out. I hope we can do something in the future. It's going to be a political hotbed here, too, because this is an elite board here, and you do not help the working class people of this town. You never have. Never have. Anyway, I hope we can change that now and do something in the future positive, because we've got a property here, Dave Hill owns it. I'm sure that's what we're talking about, expanding the landowner. He's been waiting to turn that thing into a multi-million-dollar property. The thing is, there's natural gas there. Tons of natural gas. If you just build houses over it, you take all that away. You could have organic greenhouses out there. You could use that natural gas to make all kinds of wealth for this town. Instead, you'll build houses on top of it, sell the houses, and make a one-off deal, which is just dumb. It's just dumb and wasteful, but that's what was proposed before. And I'm sure that's what will be tried to happen again. But I'll try and stand in front of that. Anyway, thank you. I appreciate it. I really do. I'm not a bad guy. I got a big mouth, but it's like I'm here. I love this town. My family's been in this area since before the Civil War, when it was blackjack, before ball, when it even existed, And if I didn't love this town, I would have let them do what they were going to do and sued them for all the oil and gas underneath that ground, which would have been bad news. Anyway. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Next,
My contact, man.
council committee.
They want to
reports.
get rid of us, man.
Budget and finance.
Let's see here. Met on the 10th. Did the salary study results, went over that. We kind of talked about that a little bit last night as well. 50th percentile, I believe, in a raise would be 20K, and I think 60th percentile to get there would be 60K, as I understood it. Is that right? Yeah. Went over the Bauer funding again on the finance level. Let's see, it sounds like we have $205,000 in private funds so far. Casey, you have an update on that?
I'm still working, I'm still waiting on.
Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, just kind of going over that funding update there with the budget committee. The CD, it's time to bid those out again, and I think that the rates are so low right now that we've decided it might be best to just put that in a checking account.
Did
See
we
what
check
those
on
rates do.
our rates for?
You have an update on that?
It's exactly the same,
Okay.
0.6. It's tied to the T-bill rate for 90 days.
Did you check what our bid was?
What's that?
Our bid, when we bid?
Yeah, it's tied to the T, we went with Baldwin State Bank, so it was tied to like a 90-day average of the T-bill, which right now is 0.6. It's exactly the same as the bid, so.
Okay. So,
So there's no advantage
It's the
there.
same now. So, yeah, I think the idea is just you know, when you do accept one of these bids, you know, there's penalties for backing out of them, and it might just be best to just stay in a checking account until we just play it by ear and see how those do, and then we can go back into those CDs. And then we had the budget hearing on there as well, which was last night. That's it. Next time we meet is Friday.
You're up again?
I am up again. We did not meet since last meeting. These are fun back to back. We meet again on the 27th at 4 o'clock.
Public safety, Susan.
We met on the 14th, and Chief Patrick gave an overview of the Douglas County Law Enforcement Contact Study. It's a study that collects data on racial disparities in stops and searches. And whereas most counties are mandated to have this study done to a particular incident, Douglas County was the one and only county in the United States that volunteered to have this done. So ultimately it sheds light on any potential racism taking place within the police department, and brings awareness to police officers. You know, they're subconsciously being racist, for lack of a better word. The organizers of the study will be invited to a future council meeting, and they'll go over the data once the study is complete. And we also discussed speeding on 2nd and Elm coming from Baker Stadium. I've had a few citizens come to me and tell there's a major issue there because there's a lot of kids in that neighborhood. So there's just going to be more police presence there to just kind of monitor the situation and determine if any other steps need to be taken. Next meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, October 12th at 4.
Yeah, we met and we discussed locations for the new substation. And Microcom is still installing the new SCADA system, and it's about 90% complete. Meriden Roofing Solutions won a bid to install a new roof on the main office in the compactor building. The chip and seal project has a 1-year warranty and will be toured next August to determine if any follow-up work needs to be done. The kiddie cushion mulch has been distributed to several of the parks around town, and the swimming pool park at that time is still needing to be done. The tank mixer is working in the west water tower. They had to drain the tower once, but that was much better than last summer where they drained it numerous times. There was conversation about maybe needing to add a mixer to the north tower. Also considered the budget for the redoing the intersection at 6th and High. The county's willing to contribute to the project. Baldwin would pay the difference between the asphalt and the concrete. Also discussed a memorial for Bill Weinecker. And our next meeting is October 7th at 9 o'clock.
I have a cool question. The west water tower, was that drained because of the chlorine stratification again?
Yes.
Wow,
It was just a precaution,
sure.
but I think they're thinking that they'd like to do a mixer on the north tower because the water is coming from the
Sure.
north tower.
Yeah,
So,
that might remedy that.
yeah.
Legislator Brown?
No report?
City administrator staff comments?
Nothing further.
All right. Any further council comments?
I have a comment regarding that gentleman that was just here. I never received a letter from him.
I did not, he told me that he sent an email to all the council members. I was not on that
Did you guys get a
email.
letter from him?
I have to go back and check. Was it a while ago?
Well, the memorandum is from
Blake.
Blake addressed to the governing body. So that if it's gonna come to the governing body, it should have come from somewhere here first before someone in the public has to send it to us. I think that's what you're saying, right?
Yes.
I thought we sent that memo. I thought you.
It may be, I looked through my emails, I haven't seen it, but
I didn't.
No, the memo had gone to you and then had been sent to him, and then the law, like the Supreme Court changed it the very next day. So it made part of that memo, vote, essentially. It doesn't change our position on that, and I guess to give y'all a little bit of background on SB 40 and that in case you get asked about it. I spoke with the league extensively about SB 40. Mr. Martin and I the league and I have a disagreement with Mr. Martin on the reading of that paragraph that he's talking about. The league's advice is that we do not have the ability at all to opt out of the county mandate. What we would have the ability to revoke would be any mandate we would put out there. There's some other nuances there, such as that it needs to be under an emergency authorization by the county. We are not under an emergency authorization currently, which is one of the reasons the school board has decided, we need to follow this mandate because it wasn't under an emergency authorization. So that's where we're at on that. I can certainly send out that memo to everyone.
I just, I don't like really getting yelled at when I don't even know what it is. I haven't seen it, so, I don't want to be known as somebody that doesn't respond to somebody that has a grievance. And if I don't see it, then, I just don't have any recourse.
Sure.
I can't respond if I don't know it's there, so.
Right.
That's all.
Any other further comments? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
Moving second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed nay. Motion passes. We're adjourned.